Have you ever stopped to think about the fans behind a band? What is it about the music that keeps fans coming back for more? Or is there more? My name is Renae Lipsmeyer, and I am the host of this podcast, The Space Between Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the fans of the Dave Matthews Band. Each week, a fellow DMB fan joins the show to discuss their journey with the band. Welcome to the Space Between Podcast. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Space Between Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the fans of the Dave Matthews Band. So each week I have a fan of the Dave Matthews Band come on the show to tell us their journey with this band who's been putting out music for over 30 years. So I'm so excited to have this guest, and I say that at the beginning of every show, but I am excited to have this one on the show. We've known each other for a little while, but I think really she's Facebook famous. I mean, I can pretty much say that, at least in the Dave Matthews Band community. She has her own page, her own story of what songs mean to her. And so I'm so excited to deliver this beautiful fan story to you. I have been asking her to come on the show. And while I know that it can be a little bit scary to maybe talk with a girl that you don't know that well, but then also the fact that that information and that video and your voice and everything's going to go on the internet forevermore. I understand that that is nerve-wracking. So, I've talked to her and I was like, I promise this is going to be okay. So I'm so excited to have you on the show. Thank you for joining us today. Tell the listeners who you are and where do you live?
My name is Jody Arendale, and I guess in the Facebook world, some people would call me Bernie. And I live just outside of Chicago in Carroll Stream, Illinois.
Awesome. So we're definitely going to talk about why people call you Bernie later, because if you're listening to this, you're like, is that like a nickname? Guys, there's a whole story behind that name. And it's a beautiful story too. And a lot of fans are familiar with, maybe if they're not familiar with the story, they're familiar with the face of the story, which his name is Bernie. And so we'll get to that. So Jody, tell us what does life look like for you? I mean, outside of the Dave Matthews Band world, what keeps you busy?
Working.
Yeah, like all of us.
Yeah, right. No, real life JOB. I rather live in Dave world than real world.
Right.
Husband and I, we've been together 20 years, and we have 3 doggos, and they keep us busy. And this summer, we're enjoying some rides on a motorcycle.
Hell yeah. I love that. I mean, and in your part of the world, you have fairly good weather in the summer. I mean, do you get many 100-degree days?
The last couple of days, yeah, it's been pretty offensive in my opinion. I don't belong here. This
How
was
rude,
not built
right?
for this weather. Yeah.
No, I get it.
Somewhere, I want more cold than hot. I'm that weird person. You can always put more on than you can take off.
Well, yeah, I mean, I like both, but yeah, I think anything near 100 is exactly what you said. It's offensive. It's rude. It's like, come on, we are not built for this. I mean, we are. How do people live in, Mexico, southern Florida? I don't even know. I don't know how that happens, but, people are doing it, so we know, but I don't enjoy it either. But, it's summertime right now. And so summer, I know, we think about all the things we do with our friends and our family and all of that. But one thing that always comes to mind, I know for me and you, when we start thinking about the summer, it's automatically first thing. It's not, for me, it's not like, hey, the kids are out, or hey, I'm going to go on vacation. It's, hey, the Dave Matthews Band is on tour, right? And so that's my summer brain. And I know that you share in that same joy. So take us back to the very beginning and how all of this joy started. Where in the world did you hear about the Dave Matthews Band?
Well, this was definitely my formidable years in college, my freshman year at Illinois State in the Manchester dorm, hanging out with the girls. And yeah, here comes this wonderful album known Under the Table and Dreaming, and just the time of our lives where you're listening on the radio and trying to record the songs and making your mixtape. And trying to remember all the words without knowing the lyrics, and just, you know what I mean? It was like my
Yeah.
freshman year was like Dave, Alanis, Oasis, like,
Hell
you
yeah.
know,
Yes, I
we're the
do.
the Gen X, like, sorry, our music's the best. So just saying.
It is superior. Yes. I mean, when two people or more say it, there's some facts in there, in my opinion. Some
So
strong
yeah,
opinions,
freshman
at
year of
least.
college definitely is where I fell in love with David.
Yeah, yeah. So what was it about the music? Like what caught your ears? I mean, because you say Oasis, you say Alanis Morissette, all of these different bands that we were all listening to because they're all rock stars in their own way. But like what was it about the Dave Matthews Band that puts you, so we know the future, right? Because we're in 2024. We know that you're a
Right.
big fan and you still are a big fan. What was it about that band that kind of made you really kind of latch on to them?
Well, see, and that's the funny thing. I always loved them and I liked going to shows. And then this is where you're catching me, like, hmm. And I love the band. I love the songs. I love everything. I've always listened to them. But what started to make me go to more shows, I stopped going to shows in 2005, 2004. I took a
Uh-huh.
bit of a 10-year hiatus. That's the year I met my husband, was 2004. And he really wasn't a fan and didn't want to go to shows. And I didn't really go to shows, and had my, like I said, my 10-year hiatus. And I came
Yeah.
back in 2014 and I found myself again. I didn't know I was missing at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I found myself, and I remember being at summer, you start crying. I remember being at Northerly with my good friend and her mom, and Grace is Gone.
Mm.
And like that was when he
Yeah.
wasn't playing it a lot.
Yeah.
Um, and we're at Northerly. I'm looking at Chicago. It's cooler outside. It's a little drizzly. And here comes Grace. Like, how, when you don't know that you're losing yourself and that song comes on, and just,
Mm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's when I found myself. And part of the 10-year hiatus, and we'll just touch on this briefly, husband is in recovery and has been for 8 years. So I found myself in 2014, and it took him a couple more years to catch up and find himself.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I already dig your story, and just to preface all of this, I haven't heard Jody's story, so I'm hearing it for the first time too, and I like it that way, because it's just such a reminder every time I hear these stories of like when I say that this band has saved lives, it's restored people, it's given people hope. Like I am really serious when I say that. And, I
I
know
call
that
it
this is your
church.
story. Yes. I mean, because
I
it
call it
is a
church.
place of
Or,
gathering of,
mhm,
and with a common theme and bond and love and respect and all of those things. And so yeah, I mean ultimately that's the definition of a church. I mean, if we were to look that up, I don't know
yeah.
exactly what it would say, but I think that we would find our family in that meaning. So, what was it? Is there anything that you can like pin out? Was it like the atmosphere that you found yourself in when you were at a live show? Was it the music? Was it the people? Was it a combination of all those things? Like, what do you think it was in 2014 once you had refound it? Or maybe, did I get that date right?
Right.
2014?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Okay. What
Um,
do you think it was a combination of all of it, or just, was there some things that really stuck out to you?
I think it just, like I said, I felt me finding myself again. I felt, because I danced as a kid, so music is a big part of who,
Yeah.
like, I count things all the time. I hear rhythms, recognize patterns. And so just having the live music in my life and like feeling it again,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of just
Yes.
listening to it.
Yes.
Um, yeah. So then, and the 2014, how old were we? We were still in our 20s. So, not really adult money yet.
Seems like forever
And
ago.
then,
Yeah. What is happening to
And then
us?
we only went to like one show a year until I think it was 2018 when we finally went to two shows and we're like, woo, this is such a big deal.
This is a big,
But
big thing. Yeah, it's unheard of. Like two shows in one year.
I'm
My
like,
God,
what?
girl. We are
I
living
know.
big.
And we're like,
Rock
why have we never
stars.
done this before? And then
Right?
2019, we did our first, like, let's get away. And we went to Deer Creek. And now it's like never miss a creekend. And then
Right?
stupid 2020 had to happen. And we had all those shows. So then
Mhm.
2021 was like, well, I have all those shows. That, is magical concert money. That's already gone. That was spent last year.
Exactly.
So I added a few more and maybe went to 11 in 2021.
Holy
And then
shit.
it's, and that, yeah, that's church. Y'all are my people. It's a family meeting. It's a family gathering. It's summer camp. Like, I don't know how else to explain it to people that don't get it.
Yeah.
And now this year I keep going to more shows. Like, we officially met in real life in Florida. And then that's
Yes.
where we met Graham and family. Mm-hmm. And now I
Yes.
see him at all the shows and I keep meeting all these awesome people. And like, I feel like I have to keep going to more shows so I can keep hanging out with them. So stop being so cool, Dave
Right.
fans, because
Well, I mean, it really is a problem. There's just so many amazing people, and it's like, how do I meet you all? And then once I meet you, like, how do I get back with you? Because like they're
yes,
that cool. Like you're like, oh shit, like I just met another best friend. Like how do we work out all these friends? And what a problem to
and
have, right? Like, oh, what
right,
a
and
problem to
people
have.
don't get it. People don't get it. It's like, I'm
No.
sorry, I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's just good, genuine people for the most part. Are there some assholes? Hell
Well, for
yes.
sure,
Hell
they are
yes.
everywhere, but
But for the most part, there's just really good, solid
blessing
people.
relief.
And exactly. So, how in the world did you get to the point where you were getting into the community of fans? Because, of course, that's like almost a second thing. Like, you become a fan, you hear the music. Typically, that's your first thing.
Right.
Then, second, you like go see them live, and you're like, oh shit, what is this? And then it becomes like, oh, I got to chase the music because the set lists are different every night, and like
Right.
blah 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 blah
Oh yeah.
blah. And then there's the introduction of I'm seeing a lot of the same people at every show, no matter if I'm on the East Coast, West Coast, in the middle of like Mexico, it doesn't matter where I'm at, Europe doesn't matter. I see kind of the same people. But then also, if I don't see anyone I know,
Right.
everyone is so awesome. Like, how did you get connected in that?
Right. Your vibe attracts your tribe, right?
Hell
So
yeah.
in for me, it kind of coincides. So, 2020, horrible COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, then I was going to the Gorge for the first time in 21, and I met a couple girls online, and we
Yeah.
started a little group on Facebook known as the DMB Swag Swap,
Hell yeah.
and we didn't meet in real life until Gorge 21. And we call it the Pineapple Grassy Knoll in the Gorge because two of us were camping, or one of us was camping offsite, two others were at a hotel, and I think one of us was camping there. So we met inside, and it was like our sad little group of four and a couple husbands, and we just met in real life there. And then we started the Facebook group, and then three of us happened to be going to Fiddler's and staying at the same hotel. And Kyla, she knows the story. We've gone to, I think I counted today, 23 shows since then together.
Wow.
I know, it's so crazy. But anyway,
Wow.
so we're like, hey, same hotel, Fiddler's. So my girlfriend and I land, and Kyla's like, oh, I'm going to the grocery store. What do you need? And I'm like, come pick us up. So she
Yes,
came
that's
and
what
got
we
us. We
need.
hopped in the tiniest little rental car ever. And then the next day, her and her husband are going to Red Rocks. And hey, do you want to go with us to Red Rocks? Yes, please, stranger. I would like to go with you and your husband to the mountains and see
Absolutely.
Red
Sounds like an
Rocks.
amazing time.
And yeah, I obviously didn't get killed. And she's originally
Yes.
from the Chicagoland area. And here we are. So she flew in for Chicago shows. I went to Mexico with her. I went to Vegas. So that's how we connect. And I feel like I see her sometimes more than I see some of my Illinois friends. It's funny. But yeah.
That's amazing. That's
So yeah,
amazing.
it's the
Well,
Facebook group and community and all of that.
it
That's how I
it is.
met a lot of
It
people
is.
too.
And that's what I would tell people for the most part is yes, are you able to connect to the community if you are not on social media?
Oh,
Absolutely, yes.
because that's where I
It
meet people and
may
then friend them.
be it may be a little bit harder to know where those meet and greets are or where those night
Mm-hmm.
zeros are because those tend to really be social media driven.
For sure.
But it's totally doable because for the most part, especially in our smaller cities, like for instance, I'll say Rogers, Arkansas, my favorite and home venue. I mean, when the Dave Matthews Band comes to Rogers, Arkansas, like everybody in the city is here to see Dave. No, that's not true. But it seems like it. And so you just see your people hang out near the venue. Like it is possible to get connected to the community without being on social medias. However, if you are on
It
social
does help.
media, mostly Facebook. Instagram is different in the fact that they don't have pages and groups and such like that. So on Facebook, they do. So you can really find your people. And I mean, drill in and find your people. You can find very broad groups, such as just like the fans of the Dave Matthews Band and then broke down in a million ways. Or you can go very specific and go, hey, I just want to talk to the fans of the Dave Matthews Band that live in Georgia because there is a page
Mm-hmm.
specifically for that. And so you can connect
Yep.
with your people because that's important to us as a community is to because we love each other. We want to connect as often as we can. And if I find out that I have a Dave Matthews Band neighbor, don't think I'm not going to go deliver cookies today. Today. I
That's
want to know who's in my area that loves the Dave Matthews Band. And
I met
so,
a couple. Oh,
go ahead.
sorry. I
No.
met a couple in Mexico last night. They were sitting at a table with them, start talking. Oh, we live outside of Chicago. Okay, cool, cool. And started. They live about 5 miles away.
Holy shit. Isn't that
I
weird?
know.
Like that feeling
We
of
ended
like,
up
oh
on
my
the
God.
same flight home, and we didn't see each other again until this year. And we're trying to set up a dinner date at this point. I'm like, because why haven't we? Because y'all are right there. We could ride the bike. Like,
Exactly.
let's go.
Yes, that's the best feeling. I have a similar story. I met someone from Rogers, Arkansas through the Dave Matthews Band. I mean, we lived so close, probably 5 miles, like what you're saying, like, and didn't meet her until we got connected into this community. So, there's fans everywhere. But if you're not connected on those groups, definitely dig into Facebook. You're going to find those groups and find your people and find out what things you can do to get into this community where you can meet all of these people. But speaking of communities and those social media pages, I know that, of course, you are the proud owner of one of the Dave Matthews Band fan
I
pages or
am.
groups on Facebook. And so before we get into that though, if it's
How
okay
did
with
it
you,
start?
I'd like to jump into the history of how that started. Yeah, because I think that that's a story that maybe not everyone's aware of. If you're
No.
watching this on YouTube, you can see Jody and see her beautiful sunglasses and her beautiful earrings. I mean, if you are watching this right now, you're immediately going to see this and go, I've seen that before because it's everywhere and it's beautiful that it's everywhere. And so Jody, fill us in on like the story behind Bernie.
Hey, I'll do my best to get through it without too many tears. So, my dad was a big old Harley dude, and I'm sure I'll share pictures with Renae and you'll pop them up on the screen around now.
Absolutely.
And again, Harley dude. So, what do we call Harleys? We call them hogs, right? So, dad and I, special connection, only child, feral Gen X kid, and he's your typical Harley dude, quiet, doesn't talk a lot, but we got each other. He was always my buddy, and he had moved in with us, and he passed away about a year after living with us. It was very sudden. It was very quick, and
Mm.
I have tattoos. He had tattoos, and that was the summer I actually got my aunt's tattoo, and I came home, and my husband's like, "Are those ants on your arm?" I guess yes, they are. And my dad, of course, liked them. And then, so then, as my dad's in the hospital and we're about to say goodbyes and take him off the life support and stuff, I was telling him that, like, Dad, I'm going to get a pig tattoo for you because Dave Matthews, pig, bike, Harley, yada yada. So I knew I wanted one. I didn't know what I wanted him to look like.
Yeah.
So my best friend's daughter drew a variation off of like some stupid sticker I found in an Amazon pack.
Yeah.
And so she drew him for me. And then the tattoo artist made it his own. And so that's where I have my tattoo, try to show him the best way possible there. So there he
Yes.
is.
Yes. And you can see the ants
That's,
too. I love
yeah, there's
that.
my
I love all of
ants.
it. Oh, that's
Oh,
amazing.
there's more, but they're whatever. So I got my tattoo for my old man, and Fiddlers is a magical place because that was my first church weekend after he passed away. And I gave out bracelets that said, there's bad times, but that's okay. Just look for love in it, right? Because sure, it sucks that my old man's gone,
Hmm.
but he's still with me, right?
Yes. Yes.
So at this time, all my thing, it's a tattoo. There's no stickers. There's nothing at this point
Right.
with him. Sorry. So yeah, I pass out bracelets when we hear pig this weekend, because we all know we don't know. When we hear pig this weekend, we're manifesting. We're gonna hear pig this weekend. We're all gonna cheers my old man, right? Oh, what was his name? So I'm like, well, do you want his real name or his road name? Because Harley guys, they have road names.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I would tell them whichever one they wanted, and pass out bracelets, met new friends. Then song 2, night 2, we hear the and probably the ugliest cry I've ever had in my entire life. But hugs all around. I think somebody actually got it on couch tour. I was like right in front of them. Hugs, text messages, phone calls, voicemails, Facebook message. Like, it was obnoxious the amount of love I felt in that moment,
Wow.
because people knew, like, there was my dad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
fast forward, I was talking to somebody about making a pin for Mexico, and I wanted to do a pig jumping over the moon, right, instead of a cow. And I was like, I had a drawing. I was like, I wasn't ready with it yet. And then I'm like, well, duh, why don't I use my pig on the face?
Of course.
So that's where he kind of started. And then stickers and whatnot. And then people are like, I want a t-shirt. So we've evolved.
Yes. Yes. Now, so how did he get his name Bernie? I guess I missed that part.
Oh, sorry. Well, the tattoo actually, my little artist named him a different name.
Yes.
So personally, he has a different name. But Bernie, because don't burn the day. So BURN, that's why he's
Okay.
Bernie.
That makes total
And then,
sense. That makes total sense.
right. And
Yeah.
then when we go for a ride on the bike, when I go with my old man, let's go for a burn, like, so it just
Ah, yes, that makes
kind
total
of,
sense. Isn't it crazy to think? I mean, it's not crazy. It's amazing to think of all the things that music can do for you. But literally, the music of the Dave Matthews Band has always been such something so close to your heart. But now your dad visits you through the music of the Dave Matthews Band. I mean,
he
that
does.
is amazing.
And we had a
That
pig
is
roast at his
amazing.
memorial at our house. So it was a whole pig thing.
I love that. And you know
And I
what?
have a picture of the bike in the
2024.
front yard with, sorry, I have a picture of the bike in the front
No.
yard with like ray beams coming down, looking at it the day of his
Mm,
memorial. I'm like, I think he approved.
yeah, I think so. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing to think that I kind of feel like 2024 is the year of pig. Maybe it's
It has
not,
been.
but honestly, I feel like it's every year that it's the year of the pig. But this year really has just pig has stuck out. And maybe it's just me
Right?
and my personal journey because I met you in person in Vegas. And that was, of course, pig.
That was a
And
moment for
then
us.
what was it,
West Palm, we
night
had the first
one,
PNP.
West Palm, PNP into pig, people lost their
It
mind.
was
They
night
had the
2.
inflatable pig. Oh, night two, yeah, they had the inflatable
It was night
pig
2
from
because I know one of my friends was there.
it was
Yep.
it
And
was
Zach
such a surprise.
is the blow up pig. We've become friends now.
Yes, he's so fun. I mean, he was like the celebrity of
Oh
the
my
night.
God,
There
he's
was like
adorable.
the band, the Dave Matthews
Mm-hmm.
Band, and then right next to it in popularity is the pig that was running up and down the aisles of the concert.
Yep. And we got a picture together. We're now friends. I have Bernie at the Gorge sign wearing a hoodie and pink chucks, and Zach's like, I'm going to recreate your picture this year at the sign. And I said, pink chucks, or it didn't happen, buddy. And he said, challenge accepted. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I think, as as the exposure grows with your pig, and it has grown so much since its conception and birth, the amount of fans that have been able to get their hands on the stickers and on the earrings and the bracelets and the necklaces and the sunglasses and all the things that you've been able to provide us with, it's just a continuation of your father's legacy. Because
Oh,
just so you
100%.
know, every time that I have mentioned Bernie or given someone a Bernie sticker, I always tell them the story about your father, because I feel like it has its place in that. And so,
Thank you.
what an amazing part of your journey. And who would ever think, who would ever think that when you first started listening to this music, that it would hold this, or that your heart would hold this big of a place for it, and that it kept growing. Like the love for it and what you get out of it
Oh,
continues
this
to be more
community
and
got me
more.
through my father's passing. 100%. This community got me through.
That's just such a big deal. It's such a big deal to know that, we hear on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, if you want to, depending on how much you are on your phone and the internet and all of the things. But, we're constantly reminded of how many things are going wrong right now, and how many bad things are happening, and how many things are going to continue to be horrible. But this is a reminder that there is still really amazing things going on. And there are people
There's
out
bad
there that
times.
love other people. That's right. Say it again. Say it louder,
There's bad
right?
times. There's bad times, but that's okay. Just look for love in it.
Right. I mean, there couldn't be a more truer message, because we all have that, and we will all have those moments where we just question everything, right? Everything. We've all had those days where we're like, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. But that's okay. Just realizing that that's okay.
Yep.
You have to look for the love in it. And man, that's something that's really hard. Sometimes it's so hard to look for the love in it, or to find love in it, but it is always there. And so it's nice when you have a group around you to remind you of those things, right? To remind you that just your life is worth something, right? And so yeah, we can't say enough good things about the community and how much they've helped so many people get through some terrible things. But also on the flip side of that, helping us celebrate when good things happen, right? It's not always just a support
Mm-hmm.
group from when we're feeling low. It's when we're feeling high too, right? Like they're there with us, cheering us on and celebrating and congratulating us for those things, because it's more than just a surface level friendship that where we talk about music. I mean,
Oh,
just like
yes.
you said, your father passed away and you immediately had people that you met through music at your side to see how they could help you. And so that just speaks
Mm-hmm.
volumes again about the quality of the people that we are finding at these concerts. And again, if you have not connected into the community, definitely think about it. I know that it can be, not all of us are very easily thrown into a group of people that we don't know and can just like start up a conversation. To be quite honest, I am
Well,
not one of those people. I
right. But
am
that's what
not.
us, well, I'm introverted in a way, which I know you're like, what? But
No,
at
me
Dave
too.
shows, I'm the extrovert. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna be the extrovert that friends the introverts. And come on, let's
Yes.
go, come with us.
Yes.
You're one of us now.
Yes. Yes.
So,
And we
yeah,
understand that because we are that way. But we have gotten outside of our shell just a little bit because of all of this, right? And again, that's just proof of like the healing part, because when you're able to kind of let go of that shit, or whatever's holding you back, or whatever making you think like, oh my God, you're not good enough to be here, no one wants to talk to you, like all those things that are going on in your head when you're in a group full of
mm-hmm.
strangers, like just to be able to let that go is really, really, really nice. And so there's an addictive quality to that too.
Oh my God,
Or
yes.
yes, such an addictive quality to that, because it feels good to feel good, right? It feels good to
Yes.
feel good. And so, when you're at a show and not only do you have amazing music and amazing rock stars up there that we can't even believe are still up there, but we're celebrating that. But then also we've got all these good people. it just feels good. And so we're always looking for like
Mm-hmm.
that next time to fill our
Yep.
hearts and fill our souls with with those things. And
Yep.
so what does 20, I mean, you've already been to a shit ton of shows. I mean, Vegas, hello, that was
Oops.
amazing. That could have been a one and done for the year. Like, I mean, just like the
Right?
experience of it, right? Like the experience being at
Oh,
the
for
first show
sure.
of 2024. Like, I mean, there were so many big
And
things
that
about it.
venue was amazing.
It was. And just being in
I mean, the
Vegas and like,
sound. Oh God, yeah.
yeah, it was a good show. It was a
Um,
good show.
for sure. And so then I actually went to Tampa where we saw each other again, and that was my
Yes.
first pit, and that was
Holy shit. Tell us everything about that.
amazing.
Let's pause for just a minute and talk about, okay, so this
Awesome.
2024 was your first time to be in the pit. And of
I
course, I
know.
find you and you're like
Of
at the
course.
rail. I mean, you like did it all the way. I don't know how
But
long you had
let's
to
be
wait for that
honest,
position,
it was like the end of the rail. Like I'm on
but it was the
Buddy's
rail.
side. I didn't, well, yeah, but I didn't fight the Hunger Games in the middle.
Right, right. Yeah, no, no, no,
Yeah,
no.
no, it was great. Buddy and I totally had a connection. We
Of
made eye
course you did.
contact a couple of times.
Yes.
It was great. It was awesome. I would totally do it again. I'm proud of myself for having the stamina for standing up there the whole
God,
time.
right. Because I mean, you kind of got to work out to even get there. And then after, you feel like you just
Right?
did do a marathon, right?
A little
Or
bit.
what I think it would
But
feel
it was,
like to run a marathon.
yeah, no, we don't.
I've never done
I
it.
lost. No.
Never will. But it's a lot of hard work to stand because you're not just getting there at like 7:45 when they start and then 10:30 when it's over. Like you're there for many
Oh, and
hours
here's what
before.
gets better. I flew in that day.
Holy shit. What time did you get in town?
I think it was like 2:30. So then I
Oh,
Ubered straight to the bar across the street to meet everybody, and we
uh-huh.
went straight to the venue. Yeah.
Wow. So you were
So I
standing on your
literally
feet for a
landed that
very
day.
long time.
Oh yes, it was a very long day, but it was well worth it.
Totally worth it. Zero regrets.
Yeah.
Zero regrets.
No.
So how did, I mean, there's so many perks to being that close, right? Because, and it just changes like what you can see, right? Because you're so close to the stage and you're so close to see what it is that the guys are doing. And then it becomes so much more than just the sound and the people, because when you're on the rail, when I'm on the rail, I hardly ever look behind me, right? So I'm just oblivious to all the shit that's going on behind me, which is a lot of stuff. And I'm staring and I'm looking at all of the fun things that the people in the back can't see. It's those times when, Dave and Tim are chuckling and yeah, watching his feet, watching Carter blow his bubbles, watching Stefan, kind of lose his mind whenever he gets to do his little solo with the lights and all the stuff. And then Buddy, I mean, you can see his sweat, but also his smile from a mile back. Like, I mean, there's so many fun things to see, just the way they work together and the way they love on each other. And also like the energy that they're pushing out to everybody in the back. Like you can feel it like it was a gust of wind going past you, because it extends all the way to the back of the lawn and probably even into the parking lot, because they are pushing it out. And so it is a very different experience to be at the pit. Do you want to do it again?
Yes, but only at certain venues.
Yes.
Let's be real. I'm not climbing that hill at Alpine.
God, no. Yo, that was tough.
Yeah.
But worth it.
I love my Alpine, but nope, I'm not going
That's
down
a
that
lot.
hill.
That's a lot.
The down is easy. It's that getting the back up.
That getting up, so, yeah. Yeah, the down is not bad.
Right. So I accidentally slipped and fell and bought a flight to Colorado. And so
accidentally my finger pressed the enter button. I'm not for sure how it happened, but I'm going to Denver. Right.
So yes, I have now added Denver.
That's exciting.
It is.
It's tickets are the easy part.
Pit for that one. Well, not when you're
of course you are.
Oh, the first night.
So speaking of, yeah, so you're like, I want to do it, and I'm going to do it at my next show.
Yeah.
Like the next one.
All my friends that I'm going with have it, so that's why. Well, most of my friends.
Of course.
If I end up in the lawn, No big deal. I don't care. But would I love to be in Pitt there for the first time with my
Oh,
friends that
yeah.
I'm intentionally going with? Yes. So
Absolutely, because
yeah.
that's just
So we added
a whole
Fiddler's.
different experience.
Yep, Fiddler's Bend have now been added. I got our Bend tickets today, and then finishing out at the
Ooh.
Gorge. So
Dang, that's
yep.
amazing. That's amazing. Well, hold on tight
Whoops.
because we never know what's happening when it comes to the Dave Matthews Band. They don't give us much warning. They just push out details and go, "Hey, we're
Right.
going to be on tour
Fowler.
forever." Yeah, we don't even know what's happening, or it could be, you just never know. But I have a strong hunch that the boys will definitely be back in the fall, and so if that's the case, I mean, do you like a cold Dave Matthews Band show?
Yes.
Yeah, hell yeah. They're
Because
so
again, you
much
can
fun
always put
because
more on.
yes. I mean, you just said that winter was like your jam. It is a completely different
Chicago
vibe
Bears
though because
fan.
oh yeah. Oh, and you're used to it because yeah, you're from north, so you're like this is no big deal. I've only been to I think and I've been to I'm not a big numbers gal, but I'm somewhere in the 60s. I added it up one time. I'm somewhere in the 60s. But in all of that, I've only been to, I think, two cold shows. Well, depends on what you want to consider cold because I did go to Virginia in November. It was chilly, it wasn't cold. There were parts of the day that were warm, but the others being I went to Omaha, Nebraska. I've never been colder. It was in November of 2022, I think. Yeah, that would have been somewhere around in there. It I mean bone chilling cold, and that just I don't know, there was something weird about that because like at some point you have to be wearing clothes to get into the building, but then there's the
Yes.
situation of like what do I do with all of it because I am going to take it off, like I'm going to get all the way down because I'm going to be sweating when I get inside, right?
Oh,
And so there's just that's weird. It's not bad, it's just different, right? Just different.
so here's my tip. Here's my tip for that.
Ooh,
I get
okay.
those Shutterfly roll up grocery bags. They roll up
Uh-huh.
really tiny small. So I put
Yes.
that in my clear bag. So then when I go in, I take that big bag out and throw whatever I want.
You're the smartest. I mean, you've been doing
I
this for a little bit.
sometimes
You got some concert tips.
sometimes the light bulb goes off and I'm smart.
So, for me, you can't ask me advice really about anything, but if you need some advice on how to maneuver around a Dave Matthews Band concert, call me. I'm your girl. I will tell
I
you.
got you.
I got
Camping
you. I
tips.
mean, I can't add that to the resume because I'd like to see the employer's response. If they're like, hey, this says that you're a professional tour guide for the Dave Matthews Band fans. Hell yes, I am. You don't pay no money, but yes, free advice all of the time.
That's right.
So dumb,
I
so
got
dumb.
you.
But yeah. So one of the fun things that I started doing when I started season 5 of the show is I opened up a Google voicemail, which sounds fancier than what it is. Basically, it is a number that is open 24/7. You can call this number. I don't answer because I'm not up 24/7. Also, that would be weird to call a stranger, and I realize that. So it is a number that you can just call. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's on the screen. If you're listening to this on a podcast app, it's in the description of this episode. So be sure to look for that number. But I ask fans to call in and give us ticket tips, ways to maneuver around a concert, anything that you would find that's fan information. But also from time to time on my social media, I'll prompt you with questions like, what song is it that keeps you coming back for more? What venue is your favorite? Just all kinds of different things. And so people have called in, and it's been so much fun to go through these. It's kind of like, you remember, Jody, you remember when we were younger? Think back. When people used to call the radio and be like, hey, can you play this song? And also, I'd like to give a shout out to Spag Girls. What's up, Amanda? Like all of that stuff that we used to do.
First time caller, long time listener. No, I don't remember that.
Girl, and I would be like ready to record that shit on tape because it's like I need to record myself talking so I can show whoever else, right? Like that's the generation we grew up in. So this is kind of a throwback to all of that because, it's the age we live in. So let's listen to a couple of voicemails and see what people are saying in the fan world. Let's see if I can get this right. Jody, I'm not technically savvy, but yet I have a podcast. What is happening? Okay, let's see. Let's see what we got here in the voicemail.
Hi, Renae and Jody. I'm at Back Night 1. David's playing Come On, Come On. And I just want to say I love your podcast. Everything about it's amazing. And keep it going, man. I love it. Come on. Come on.
Yes, Jen Ryder.
That's awesome.
She literally left that voicemail from SPAC night, whatever. I don't know. They're singing Come On in the background if you didn't hear that. And, thanks for the compliment. Thanks for the compliment. I love that you love the show. I love the fact that we have so many fans and of this band. And what's so crazy is every story is completely different on how they found this band. And that is just mind blowing to me, but also it's proof of what an impact this one band has made. And so again, it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful story. Okay, let's listen to another voicemail.
So it is Friday night, May 31st. And I just have to comment on the PNP Into Anything song. I like to say that first time we heard it in West Palm, PNP Into Pig, awesome. PNP Into Granny, awesome. And now it's just like a PNP Into Anything. Like, throw it out there. Whatever song they want to do, that combo is going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to rock the show wherever they're playing. And I can't believe they're doing that now. I just came up with this. So, anyways, it's Jen Ryder from Rhode Island. Love you guys.
Jen Ryder again. Oh my God. I didn't even know that. Oh my God. I played Jen. Thanks for both voicemails. I love you. Thank you. I literally didn't even know as I was playing that it was the same person until it's the end. So, hey, Jen, thanks for calling. So definitely be sure to check out that voicemail. You can call anytime. Again, I don't answer, but definitely call in and we'll play it on the show. So let's talk about PNP. Again, pig, it is the year of the pig, but also it is very much the year of PNP. Of course, we talked about this the first time them playing PNP into something else besides Rapunzel happened this year at West Palm Beach, and honestly blew people's minds. It's something that like the internet almost broke when this happened, like for real. Like there was a pig running all over the internet and we were like, what is happening? I don't even know, like who's this band, like what are they doing? But it was amazing. It was like exciting. And so that kind of prompts the conversation of like these games that this band plays with us, and don't think for a second that they are not fake. Oh yeah. I mean, they're like to fuck with us, and I like to be fucked with, right? I like it. I like keep doing it. Keep doing it. They started, they've been doing it the whole time, but most, please do it again. 2023, we start with the art of the fake. 2024, we start the art of the what is P&P going to go into? And every single show so far in 2024 has been, kind of like, that's the song where when they start to play PNP, you kind of hold your breath towards the end and everybody's like, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? Everybody be quiet. He's fixing to go into something and I got to know what it is. Like it's a serious moment because you just don't know what's going to happen. And I love that game. And so I was talking about it. I call it a game in my head. It is a game for me. I can't call it a game, but it is a game for me and a lot of other people. So get over it. Who came up with that in their head? Because we know that it is intentional at this point. We know that it is not an accident. Someone had to come up with this idea, whether it be like a member that is on stage or a member of their crew, whatever. Wouldn't it be funny, guys, if every time we did PMP, we just blew their minds and went into something else? Like, who came up with that and thought, yeah, let's totally do that? We may never know the answer to that, but I think about things like that. Like, who did this, and do they intensely watch the crowd as they're playing that last note of P&P to go into the next one,
Part of me feels like Fonz would be a trickster. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He has that. And then the other part of me kind of feels like maybe it's Timmy, the quiet
Oh,
one that
yeah,
doesn't really.
for sure. The alien of the
Because when
group.
you catch him smile on stage and it's like, whoa. So maybe that's the
Yes.
secret. Like, let's see what happens.
I want to know. And, it's those things that we'll never know. But, I do think about these things because it's so intentional. You think maybe the first time they're just like, oh, they just want to do something different. But when you start doing it every time, oh, you know exactly what you are doing, sir, and keep on doing it. Right. And so, it's that game, but also it continues to be a hook, right? Of like, what can they continue to do? What are they going to do next to keep these people who have loved this band for so long to not start falling off the radar, right? Because, most people don't love a band for more than 30 years.
Right.
But this band has kept its fans for so long and been able to keep picking up fans along the way. And so the band is so mindful, or what seems like very mindful, of always upping their game, always doing something to kind of keep people coming back for more. Or is it that they keep doing all these things to entertain themselves, or is it a combination of both? I don't know. What are your thoughts, Jody? Like, what do you think this band is doing?
I just think they like to have fun, because if you're watching them on stage, it's like we're there, but we're not there. They're playing for each other.
Yeah.
Like they're playing in their garage, like they did when they were younger practicing. It's what I feel like, or you know what I mean?
It feels
like they're
that.
just they still truly have fun.
Yes. Yes.
And because obviously they could have stopped touring at any point now, but yet here we all go, and people don't get that either. And like I just hit my 50th show, and I think I heard Baby Blue for the first time ever. Like, you can't say that. You know what I mean? Like, that's part of it too. I chased Black and Bluebird for the longest time and didn't get it until Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got it now this year, but with the whole band. So it's a whole nother.
It's a whole nother statistic.
Oh yeah. Like, Taylor's fans get 2 secret songs. Our whole freaking set list is a secret song. We don't know what we're getting.
Exactly. I honestly think that's one of the best comparisons I've ever heard. Is someone on social media several months ago tried to explain how Taylor Swift and the Dave Matthews Band are similar in some ways. And while that may sound very wrong and very off, well, if you know a little bit about Taylor Swift, like Jody said, she always pulls out a secret song. No one ever knows what it's going to be, and everyone's talking about it. Like, this is what I want. What do you want? What do you want? Blah, blah, blah. But she doesn't tell anybody, and it's a different song every time. Now imagine magnifying that times all of the songs. That is what you have in a Dave Matthews Band concert. And so what an experience for these fans. And that's what everyone says pretty much across the board when talking to the fans, is I never know what I'm going to get. And every show I go to is different. And even the band has quoted that, saying, you will never get the same show twice. It's not just us saying that. It is the band saying that.
Well, and that's why the Gorge is so magical, because you have 3 nights.
It is. I mean, anytime where you can go and see them more than one night, that's where your money is best served as well. Like, if you're listening to this and you've never been to a show, that's cool. Like, I'm a firm believer that you can be a big Dave Matthews Band fan and never have gone to a show. But if you're looking to go to a show and you don't know where to land first, I would definitely recommend your first show being, if you like them, if you really like them, then go to a 2-night or a 3-night show. Especially if you're traveling, you're going to save money you're just going to get more for your money. And then you're going to have more time to meet the community of people. And so, those 2 and 3 nights. And the beautiful thing is the band does them quite often, right? Like, they have those venues where they're always your 2-night venues. West Palm Beach, help me name them. Camden, no, not Camden.
Creek
Camden, Creek End, Alpine. Of course, the Gorgeous 3 nights. Mexico is 3 nights. Yes, yes. So there's so many venues,
Fiddlers.
and yes, Fiddler's Green in Denver, always a good one to visit. Denver's a magical city. I'm so glad that you're getting to go, and that um, that you're gonna hope we're just gonna put it into the universe, Jody, that you're gonna be in the pit with all your buds. It's gonna be an amazing experience. It's gonna be an amazing experience. And you know what?
Oh,
I'd
he'll
love to have you
PNP
back on
me
the show after
for the
that.
first song.
Hey, oh my God, I hope it happens, because I know that you're going to be sitting there with some kind of Bernie swag on. Like, I know that you will. I know that you will. Absolutely. And I can't but think
Yep.
that
And my
the bands
freshly
would
pink
see your
hair and my
pig.
space buns.
Hell
Yes.
yeah. I never know. I'm like, you always have the coolest hair at the concert. Like in the pictures, like the one that you posted earlier of me and you in the pit in Tampa, like your hair was perfect. Like it was so perfect. It was great. And then it kind of matched your sign. Like it probably was pink, but because you were like cherrying it up, I was like, oh shit, like she matched her hair with the sun and all the things. And so it looked really good. It was amazing.
And now
And
you
then
know
it
I
helped
literally
you.
landed like 2 hours before that.
Well, you looked great, honey. I don't know how you were feeling on the inside, but on the outside, you looked great. You are welcome. Well, dude, I can't thank you enough for like kind of pushing your apprehension. Oh, we'll say apprehension to the side and going, you know what, Renae, let's give it a whirl. It does make a difference when you know that you're like not live in front of people, but also like there's a lot of comfortability in talking about something that you're passionate about. And I know that
True.
you love this band, and the level of your love is just keeps soaring because now your dad is shining through the music. And I mean, how could it not just continue to grow more and more for you? So thank you so much for sharing your story. I know a lot of people are going to love
And
to
now
hear
I
that.
meet people. Yeah. I met somebody in Florida and he saw my tattoo. He's like, I have that in a sticker. I was like, well, did I give it to you? And he's like, no, I got it from somebody else. I was like, it's
Looky
growing.
there.
It made me
See,
so
it
happy.
is. And it should. And so now you know, guys, if you see the pig, and again, if you're listening to this, you can't see. So definitely check out the YouTube, or, what is your group name? So if someone wants to get in your group, can they join? Is that okay? No.
Yes, I do have questions and they're silly questions and I make you answer them. I don't care. I will respond and say, answer my questions.
That's right.
It is called Don't Bernie the Day, I think is basically what I
Yes.
called it. So it's, basically, are you going to love Bernie and are you going to, have fun and be kind? And how'd you hear about our little group is the majority
Yeah.
of my questions. So
Yeah. And you know what? Honestly, if you're not a group person, you don't have to dig around too far to find the stickers, to find the swag. It is all over the place. So if you're interested in getting some stickers or getting some swag, reach out to me. I can point you in the right direction. Make sure you get some of that Bernie slaps, as you say. Where are you going to put you slap
yes,
Bernie on something today? Wherever. Put it
I
on your
know
shirt.
it's like it's a flat Bernie now. You know what I mean? My friends
Yes.
took them to Florida.
Yes.
I've seen you have them on one of your cups.
I
My
do. I
friend has them
do.
in
I
her
do.
RV window. So it's fun to see. Like, I want to see where
It
you
is.
slapped him. People
He's
were like,
going everywhere.
a lot of Florida people. I'm gonna put him in our tiki hut. I'm like, I want to see. Show me. So like that's
Look
what
at
we do on
this.
the page. I say
I
happy
love
birthday to
that.
our friends. Right. We talk about what shows we're going to, who we're going to see where. It's just a fun little group.
It is.
Just a
It is.
happy
And that's what
place.
it's all. We all need this, right? Like we need a happy place. We all have that shit in our life. We all go to work. And even if you love your job, it's something that you have to do no matter what. And those bills come every month. And so it's good to have these happy places. It's really good.
Yes.
Like I said, it feels good to feel good. And so this is something that makes us feel good. And we're going to keep on doing it until the
Spread
boys
joy.
kick us out. That's right. Spread joy, spread love, and spread some Bernie. We're going to spread some Bernie around.
Find your joy, die with memories, not with dreams, all that fun stuff.
Hell yes. Hell yes. Well, lady, I can't thank you enough for being on my show. So, guys, if you are listening to this on a podcast app, be sure to just subscribe so that you know every time a new episode is coming out, because from time to time I do throw them out pretty fast. So you don't want to miss one of these stories from the fans of the Dave Matthews Band. But of course, if you're not watching this, be sure to check out my YouTube channel. It's simply just under the space between podcasts. That way you'll be able to see all of the fun pictures that I know Jody is going to send me. And so those will go through the video as she talks about those. But you can definitely, there's over 120 episodes now. And so you can listen to a lot of stories of how this band has continued to make an impact on so many people. So guys, until the next episode, peace, love, and Dave Matthews Band. Thank you so much, Jody.